He's a meddler, too.
Welcome to the Strand. I'm Christina Foxley, Director of Events, and I'm pleased to welcome Dan Nadel, Brian Chippendale, and Christopher Forgus. Over the past decade, Brian Chippendale and Christopher have reinvigorated the action-adventure genre with their unique mixtures of personal politics, humor, fantastic worlds, sex, and visionary drawing. Now these two acclaimed Providence-based artists are embarking on their first book tour in support of their new works, If and Oof, an 800-page graphic novel, and Powr Mastrs 3, the climactic volume in this multi-part graphic novel series. Dan Nadel, art director and editor of the Grammy Award-winning art, music, photography, and comics publisher, PictureBox, will play moderator this evening, so I'll let him more formally introduce our guests in a moment. Following tonight's presentations, Dan, Brian, and Christopher would be happy to take your questions. I'll be walking around with this microphone, so please wait for that before you speak. And then the artists will sign copies of their books for you, which you can purchase downstairs on your way out of the store. Please join me in welcoming Dan Nadel, Brian Chippendale, and Christopher Forgus to the Strand.
All right, whatever.
Hi. I'm Dan Nadel, and to my immediate left is Christopher, and then the far left is Brian. I'm really pleased to be here to have them present their new books, If and Oof and Powr Mastrs 3. Powr Mastrs 3, of course, is the third part in a 6-volume series that we're publishing, and the other 2 parts are still available, as well as Christopher's Core of Caligula, which is a great little comic. And Christopher also performs as Mark Lord and is in the band Daily Life, which has a new record out now. Brian Chippendale's book, If and Oof, is his third from PictureBox. The previous 2 were Maggots and Ninja. And Brian is one half of Lightning Bolt, as well as all of Black Pus. And with that, I will turn it over to these guys for a slideshow, and then afterwards I'll ask some questions, and then you guys will ask some questions. So, Christopher.
Hi. All right, well, it's looking a little squashed again up there.
Is it?
Now it's looking blue. Oh, man.
There we go.
Oh. All right, well, anyway, it's going to be a little squashed, I think. Just stretch your eyes out. So the slideshow I prepared does not have much to do with comics. There's a little bit of comics in there, but I figured if you're all here, maybe you've read some comics that I did. So I'm focusing instead on design work, painting, a little tiny bit of furniture, and some other things that I do. So I'm just going to flip through. It's going to be very crude, likely. These are just sketchbook pages. And they're all squashed. I like the idea of a sketchbook as an experimental field, or a place where the normal laws of creative activity, art making, whatever you want to call it, are suspended, and you can act without conscience and without intention. And that's a rare thing, even within art, I feel like. And I think it's the best way to make art is turning your back on everyone you know, and turning your back on your own life, so that things can come out that you didn't plan or you don't intend. Things that you don't understand. Because that's sort of what art's for, what creativity's for, is to ask questions and try to find answers, maybe. And the questions that you have, I don't think are always necessarily the questions that you think you have. So it's important to find any way that you can to feel free to do what you want. Or do what you need to do, not even what you want. Not even what you'd like to do or what you wish you could do, but what you have to do. These are horribly mangled. We did do a tech check, but it's been evaporated by plugging and plugging, I think. This is kind of untenable. Can we fix that, maybe? How do you resize the projector? Can I shrink it? It's kind of... Yeah, it's... Maybe could we shrink it or something? I don't know. Something horrible's happening.
Horrible?
Yeah, just pull it back, maybe, if you can. Or, I mean, push it forward, I'm sorry. I don't know. Is that possible? All right, that's better than it was.
Yeah.
A lot of these drawings are, I feel like composition maybe is the most important thing in visual art. And color, line quality, everything serves that.
These all pencil.
Yeah, these are all pencil drawings, just black and white drawings. There's a little tiny guy at the bottom of this one. Don't miss him. Oh my God, he's in a ditch. Help him out. This is a lady, she's running to get somewhere. Maybe she's late. She knows what to do. That's a mirrored ceiling. But she's not looking in the mirror. This guy's also in a rush. This was on a record, back cover of a record I made once, called Hallucination Guillotine. This is like some larger collage paintings that are like gouache and watercolor. Some wood glue in there, and some Elmer's glue. This is another one of the same kind. This is actually pretty large. That's about, it's a vaguely about actual size probably being projected. And that's a detail of the same. These are made out of like all kinds of drawings, some intentional drawings, some unintentional drawings, by which I mean the days when you sit down and you say, I'm going to, and then the other days when you're either not thinking or you think, I can't. So there's both of those in there, and the dynamicism of those elements, and the colors, the different types of papers and the different energies, I feel like charge the work up like a battery with a negative and a positive pole. And I believe that if you do it right, then that charge will stay for a long time. And in a lot of ways, I think all my favorite art has an element of that, and that flip-flop between ultimate points of whatever version of dichotomy you want to superimpose on that, positive and negative, or whatever it's going to be for you. This is another one, same time period. It's got a lot of calligraphy in this one. I was really into that at the time. I should have put more letter forms in here, maybe. That's like a hobby of mine. This was supposed to be like a sign for my door, like when you're a kid and you have a sign that says your name on it. A demarcation of a boundary, or the naming of something that you're already aware of. I should have put, there's this awesome Far Side cartoon by Gary Larson, and it's this picture of a lawn, and there's like a dog and a tree and a house and everything like that. And on everything, like on the door, I've had this taped on my wall for like close to 10 years at this point. On the door, in black paint, it says door. And on the tree, it says tree. On the dog, it says dog. And then the guy standing on the porch with a bucket of paint and a brush, And he says, "There, that should clear a few things up." It's a sweet cartoon. Doesn't get much better than that. This is just another watercolor drawing. Supposed to be some kind of hypnagogic, psychedelic, fearful, dreamlike miasma based in fantastical notions of beauty. Here's another of the same character.
That's not the same character.
No, I mean same quality. Sorry, don't want to confuse.
That guy's got 5
Of the same type.
That guy has 4 fingers.
I think I'm often trying to achieve a state in these drawings of balanced composition depicting something that is some kind of heightened state, or maybe it's ecstatic, maybe it's a crisis. Again, that kind of like ineffable quality that you get from breaking laws, or having a success that's undeniable, or some moment of absolute certainty where the signifiers of the normal world are flying apart, and surprisingly you know exactly what to do, or there's a clarity that maybe you've never had before in your day-to-day life. I like to draw characters that are ready. This guy's really ready. She's ready. This one's unfortunate that you can't see the details, but it's a sexy one. But I just like the composition, and making paintings like this still feels really transgressive to me for some reason. The simplicity of them. I feel like work like that always really touches me, like Agnes Martin, or I was just looking at a Richard Serra book about 5 seconds ago, and that kind of extreme minimalism really, I don't know, I can't get in all that, but it's like my favorite thing. Here's 2 pages from the new book, whatever, just in case you haven't seen it. These are some of the opening pages. This is a page I just did for this new British science fiction magazine called Mold Map, and it's a 2-color comic about free falling into enemy territory and then disguising yourself through a phase inverting masking technique. I don't know. I just threw it in there because it's real traditional style. This is a piece I did for Book Forum that's about narratives. It's 2 children that are named after these little kids that led a coup. I think it was in Thailand, and their names are Luther and Johnny. And they're real beautiful. You should fire up the Goog and take a picture of those guys. They're like chain-smoking children. Here's some other drawings from sketchbooks. I've made large collage drawings of these 2. I don't have any pictures of them, but this is work that I do, part of I don't know, at least as large as my comics output, body of work that I do that is not shared very often. Because I think it's unwanted, or I don't know, I don't think anybody wants to see this stuff, but it's pretty important to me. I like the idea of raw forms, the power that they can hold. I believe that's real. It's a real thing.